Okay.
Okay, so I have the biography right here. And first thing I'm going to do is make a copy um, because I'm going to plan to mark it up, but I want to keep track of the changes. There we go. I want to keep track of the changes to the document, but maybe we're going to have to revert some formatting here. So you never know. I'm going into Word, and so one of the first things worth looking at, I think, is go to the file and let's go to info. This data here often matters, especially if we're going to um, look at ebooks and that kind of printing. We're not going to mess with this right now, but just know that this stuff ends up in your ebook creator. So if we show all properties, for example, okay, created, modified, all these things like different comments and tags and stuff. Um, when you save, say, look, enable editing. I need to do that, right? Because
Yeah.
I wasn't. There we go. That was something. But like add tags and titles, you really kind of want to do it here because if you're working with the ebook, then it's just gonna add time when you have to do it in your ebook creator. So
Oh,
Silent Soul, um, biography,
it's good to know.
um, yeah, military, and then Price of Freedom Foundation. Okay, so for whatever, especially as we start producing several of these, we're going to want to be able to easily search
Mm.
for this stuff. Categories, biography. Now, I'm not going to fill out this whole thing, but you're going to get the
No.
idea,
Yeah.
right? So we put the kinds of things that we want to see in our ebook. But now, and I say ebook because the ebook's going to care about that. The print is not going to necessarily register those things.
Mm.
Now, uh, the first thing I'm asking myself when I see this is page size. Is this the page size we want? And also branding, like the title. How do we want to do this? Do we want to say here's the question I have in my head. When we write a biography for a single service member or family, uh, do we want to highlight them,
Mm.
the series, or the individual book title?
Mm.
In my head, just kind of thinking about what we want to emphasize, I feel like the unique book title is going to be valuable to the family.
Mm.
This should definitely be highlighted. It is. Um, I think the name is also going to be very important to the family. That should be highlighted too.
Mm.
See, let's use Waldbaum display uh, on here. This is a it's a series, and it's kind of like World Book Encyclopedia might depersonalize it.
Mm.
And so I'm thinking that maybe we want to either make this smaller,
Mm.
um, or somehow just kind of change the emphasis on it. And
Mm.
and again, I'm not going to walk you through the whole thing, but at least you get to see some of the. This shouldn't be a heading. I don't like that. Um, let's use Waldbaum display and center it here. I don't necessarily know what the color is, so I'm going to go ahead and just do it this way. But I do want to kind of show you some of the things that go into format considerations, because this is how we're going to consistently produce all of these. Uh, as far as paragraph and stuff is concerned, you can always do things, using these. I
Mhm.
like to have more control over the spacing with the points in here. So
Mhm.
let's make it 6 point or something like that. And then we're using a serif font. It's got these little tags on the side,
Mhm.
little not tags, these little ligatures here.
Yeah.
And but this is a sans serif font, right? It doesn't have that. That's inconsistent. So
Right.
we're gonna go ahead and use a similar font. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but it needs to be the same kind of style.
Mhm.
Now, for a book that we want to kind of be, I don't want to say taken seriously, but we don't want it to be like a magazine. This looks to me like 8.5 by 11. And one thing that I was telling Keith in the email reply was that I think, again, to kind of honor the family and every person's unique story, we really want the books to be free to be different sizes. So one may be 6 by 9, another may be, I don't know, 5 by 8. 5 by 8 is about the size of one of those books that you see on the shelf when you're exiting Walmart or something. It's a 5 by 8.
What is Tower of Babbling? What is it?
6 by 9.
It's 6 by 9. Okay, so this is
Mm-hmm.
6 by 9. So it's not too small, but I mean it's a decent size, but it's
Yes,
not pocket size either.
correct. And I like to make it to
Here's
where
a
the
pocket
reader,
size.
that's 5 by 8.
This is
Yes.
5 by 8.
Mm-hmm.
It's heavily chewed up magazine.
Yeah. So I like to make the book the size needed to let the reader feel like they got what they paid for.
Right.
I see here that this
That's
is
good.
a 55-page book, and that is way too thin.
Right.
So if we're going to do 8.5 by 11, this is going to read like a report. There's no way we want to release this
Yeah,
as an
like a
8.5 by
magazine.
11.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a magazine. So
Mhm.
we're going to have to definitely change the page size. And that's going to, of course, affect all the spacing up here.
Mhm.
So let's take a look at how this is written. Okay, good. Single spacing. That helps a lot. I'm so glad it's not double spaced, because I've gotten that before, right?
What is it? Why does that make a difference?
Well, it
Like,
just
how
means
does
that if
that
it were
help?
doubles, well, so first of all, it gives you a sense of how it gives you a sense of the I guess I'll call it the literary feeling of the book.
Mm,
We're not
got you. I
gonna
see.
publish double space anyway. But
Right.
the main reason was that if it had been double spaced, and it's not a 55-page book, it's a 30-page book, and
Exactly. Yeah.
that's even worse.
Yeah.
But also font size, man, dang, it hurts for me to see this 12-point font, because if you think about it, it starts to be kind of like a kid's book with the
Mm,
text so big.
mm,
Typically for something that's kind of a dramatic looking story,
mm,
it's anywhere between 8 to 10 point font. You could try 11. 12 is too big because it's kind of like frankly a Sesame Street book, and it's 50 pages and it's a report. So we got several things that we're gonna have to do with this.
mm.
Forget about reading and like proofreading it right now.
That's not the point.
And by the way, this is one of those things that we one of those forks in the road as far as publishing. When you first get the manuscript, do you read through it as it is, or do you make the format decisions first?
Mm,
And what I would argue is that you make the format decisions, the big ones, first. Because if you read through and you're like, okay, I like this is perfect, and then all of a sudden you decide that it needs to be a different page size or a different, I don't know, different margins and everything, and then you've screwed up chapters and paragraphs are jumping and all kinds of things just because you didn't handle it the first time. So before I even,
right.
like, if I knew when I started this that I had to rearrange things, then
Mhm.
I'm already not going to redo this. The first thing I'm going to do is change page sizes and things. So I have to make decisions about tables of contents and stuff like that. So anyway, let's go ahead and start making those changes. I always have to ask, do we want a sans serif font or do we want a serif font for the kind of story that we're telling? Okay, this is like an Arial type.
Why
sans serif.
why does that matter? Can you explain? I mean,
Okay, so
I really don't know.
Okay, well, it is said that in some way this can be easier to read. But if you're going for a particular kind of effect, let me change this to Times New Roman so you can kind of see what I mean here. Looks different, right?
Yeah, it looks more like a newspaper type.
Yeah, right. So Times New Roman, and if you only had a couple of fonts in mind that you wanted to kind of think about, Times New Roman is more newspaperish. Another serif font, Georgia, or the one I always use is Garamond. Garamond's really good for making it look booky. So here, let's do Georgia, because Georgia is another font that we like. See, this one is different. This I kind of like this as a story. It's got like a dramatic look. Fonts have character, like typefaces have character. And if I really wanted to, Petty Officer Amos probably knew of the storm. I like this for this kind of story, just superficially, this font, right? There's also Garamond. Garamond, I learned this from Ingram Spark. This is a different kind of book. This is more like fiction, and I'm not liking the kind of roundy little, no, it's not. I'm not feeling it. It's round, right? So again, if I go back, let's do something that is sans serif, Calibri. I guess you could get away with this, but I don't know. If I want dramatic effect, I'm probably going to go with Georgia. I like this, right? And that's going to be something that you can pass around, and ultimately that would be, the organization's decision. But as I was telling Keith, these books should be allowed to have their own character. So maybe for this one, Georgia, but maybe for another one, I don't know, Arial or something like that. Now, this is going to be a change throughout. So what I'm going to do is kind of back up to my font formatting, and let's back go a little forward there. And I'm going to change normal, right click, modify, and I don't want to use News Gothic. We're going to use Georgia as my normal template. We work with templates all the time. Okay, so that should have propagated throughout the book. Yes, it did.
Oh, that's good to know. I didn't know.
Yeah. So this is kind of how it is. Now it may look a little crammed, and if you feel it's crammed, there are ways to go in here and test things. So often I'll come in paragraph and what am I doing here? Line and page breaks. No, this is not what I want. But you can go into, you modify this format. Oh, it won't let me. Odd. Okay, well, anyway, know that there are often options in here that you can use to tweak the font. And it may just be that this is a spin-off font, so I'm not even going to bother with it. It's fine. Okay, so anyway, so we like this. We like this typeface. Next thing I need to do definitely is change this page size. My aim is to make this book big enough for people to care about. And I'd have to look around, but I know 53 pages is no good. So let's go to layout and size. Let's try 6:9. I don't want it to be, I don't want to try 5:8 just yet. Let's do 6:9. We may end up going with 5:8 though. 95 pages. Okay, this is not bad. It's got a, it's got something to it.
You said this is 6:9. Was that Tower of Babbling again?
Yes.
Reference?
Yeah.
I don't.
Tower of Babbling.
Show again, because he knows these by like just the numbers. I don't really know them by the numbers. All I know is like 8.5 by 11, like a regular printer sheet of paper. So this is 6 by 9, which this Tower of Babeling's about 200. Well, no, it is 200 pages. So it's 211.
Yeah, I'm thinking though that when I hold up this ruler here, 6 by 9 is going to be too big, and the
I think
reason
so
is
too.
because
Yeah.
we're still on 12-point font, and we have not broken 100 pages, and so people are going to think that they're buying a little, you know, you're like, oh, this is so cheap. So let's go ahead and go for a John Grisham size. Saw it on the, you know, Danielle Steele. We saw it on the HEB rack when we were leaving type size.
Like
And
this,
that's
Ender's
something
Game.
like that. Ender's Game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So small book doesn't mean
Yeah. It
that
doesn't mean
it's very
terrible,
important.
right? Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm going to go in and change this. Oh, 5 by 7 is a little bit tiny, but this is a default. Let's see what it is. Oh, 170 pages. Nice. It's not going to stay that way. So let's go ahead and change the font size. I don't know about 5 by 7. I'll have to tell myself how that feels. Here's 5. Here's 7. Oh yeah, 5 by 7 seems to be okay. I think maybe 4.5 by 7 will work, because I'm getting the novel-ish feel to it. While I'm here, I'm jumping around now, but we're sizing things, so we don't want 12 points. We don't like it, right? We need to fill out pages again to make the book have a sense of, you know, volume there. So I'm gonna go with 10.5. It's 10, but it's not, right? Okay. 153 pages, and we have, what else do we need here? I did 4.5 by 7 is what I want. So layout, size here, 4.5. That should be legit. Okay, the margins are messed up, so let's come in here. Good margins might be 0.75 for something this small. So left and right 0.75, top and bottom 1 inch. That's not bad. There we go. Okay, I'm liking this. Do we want ragged edges, or do we want justified? Yeah, honestly, this is a toss up, and I've changed it depending on the book. Take a look at Ender's Game. What do you have for that one?
It's justified.
Okay, so the thing with justified is that for a book this small, you may want to go with it. Justified can put people to sleep. So
and just to show what we mean by justified, it's like it's all like down the side. Like there's no like, that's the difference. Like it's just all to the side. But
yeah, so
he's
I'm
right. It adds a more of like an academic type feel to it. It just has a different feel.
Yeah, so I'm gonna right click modify again, and see there's the left, but here's justified. Let's see what it looks like. And this is the normal templates. It's gonna do this throughout the book. Okay. I don't know. I don't really care for this, to be honest. It now starts looking like a report.
Right.
I just, and again, it's gonna depend on you, but I don't know. I think this is story more story-ish.
It is more of a narrative type.
Yeah, let's go ahead and stay with this. At this point, I'm saving it because I like the decisions here. Okay.
So you can save all of that into a template? I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah, the fonts up here. Definitely.
I had no idea.
They just so for example, if we want to have an actual title thing. Oh, look what happened. See, this is why we want to do our page formatting early.
Right.
Right. So let's say we want a kind of a custom. I'm just going through and looking at things. Truly though, I like this as it is. So I am gonna change it though to a darker blue. So less of the purple. So this is something that is not up here. So what we'll do is click on that little thing down there and I believe it is create a style. I think that's what, oh, wait a minute, right click. Let me see. It's been a minute since I did this. Create a style. Okay, yeah, there it is. And I like to put an underscore in front of the styles that I'm using so that I don't have to go burrowing through here. So we're going to call this type. Boom. Okay, so there it is. And while we're here, we'll do that. Okay. Wow. How's our timing on this video?
I'm not exactly sure. I think it's 20 minutes so far.
Okay, yeah, I think
guessing.
we can break this up a little bit because this is just going to be just for formatting.
Okay, so
Because
this is
there
just
are,
formatting.
yeah, there are some tricks that we got to kind of get down.
Yeah.
Now, right here, I'm going to introduce. Okay, there's some stuff that's just not fun to work with, and you know, we can spend forever and learn. But the main thing is that we got to be able to break these things up into sections. Let's go to View and go to Navigation pane. Okay, see what we have here. We have chapters, but we have a lot of dead space. What's all this? And the reason is because we have these guys as if they are, let's see, we have these guys as if they are their own sections. And if I click on this, what is that? Okay, so this is an extra. This is definitely not a section. So I'm taking this out. In fact, I'm going to do this throughout. We don't want these. And this is just stuff, and obviously it's going to be different per book, but this is just stuff that happens in the manuscript that you got. I mean, there's going to be things that, and what we like to do is not use enter to like do this stuff. We kind of don't like to do that. Control enter preserves the format, and it actually makes it part of the same paragraph. But plain enter means it's a different paragraph, and that's just kind of something to note. But I like this. I like this. It's pushed over with tabs, and I wonder if that's what you want. Maybe not. So I'm going to go see the way that is. I'm going to come in here and undo that. Oh, looks like it's for both. That's interesting. Oh no, it's because it's got that hyphen in front of it. Gotcha. Instead, I'm going to come up to this corner and try to put down a right tab. I clicked it a couple of times. You see that right tab?
Flipping, yeah.
So now I just click in here, boom, and drag it over. And what this does is that I can tab it, and it's trying to, instead of going left to right, it's going right to left. And right here, Shift Enter is going to preserve. It's going to preserve that structure. So that's another way of kind of controlling tabs if you do it like this. Now it looks like what it's done though is it doesn't really understand what I was trying to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and write it. There it is. See, I made it right aligned. And there you go. So know that you can adjust these tabs up here and have other things going on. The benefit of this is that when you're changing page sizes and you're working with some stuff that doesn't take up the full page, like this right here, you really don't want to rely on these because you see how squished it is. I have no idea what this originally looked like. But right now, I'm just going to come over here, undo that whole section, and then right align it. That looks fine. And we didn't want this bullet, and that seemed like something Word did automatically. So I had to undo it, and then like, oh my God, Control Z so that I don't have that. And then Shift Enter. I said Control Enter, but I think it meant Shift Enter. Shift Enter keeps it same format. Okay. So that's something that you kind of just get used to.
Well,
What I'll note is that we're going to pretend that you don't have any intentional page breaks in here. Unbeknownst, and tab that. And let's take a look at this. So I'm gonna come through here. It's funny because you can actually go through some of these. Sometimes you can search for this mass handling of stuff. So look, we've got paragraph, paragraph, paragraph. I wonder if I can find these and just get rid of them. So let's go to find. And oh, that's the navigation. I don't want that. Let's go to advanced find and click on this little arrow, advanced find. It pops up this guy here, more. And I want to search for a special character, basically the paragraph mark.
Wow.
And we'll find next, make sure I can find what I'm looking for. Oh, look at that. They're consecutive. You see what's happening. So, so let's come back up here and look for the paragraph character again. Paragraph mark. And again. Actually, I'm only going to look for it twice because I'm not really getting why I would ever want two of these. So what I'll do is replace it. Oh, well, first let's see if we can find these in double. Yes, we can. See that? It's finding double. So what I want to do is replace these with a single paragraph mark. Okay, find. It occurs to me that I actually could have selected that other guy. But anyways, let's replace, see what we get. Okay. Let's try it again. Okay, let's try it again. Because I'll get really paranoid about this stuff. So I'm going to do onesies and twosies first.
Yeah, and actually make sure that it doesn't screw up the whole document.
Yeah, so I need to save this before I do what I'm about to do. I've taken it for a test run, so now we'll replace all. 82 replacements. And we're going to do it again because we know how often this happens. And we're going to do it again. And again. There should be up to replacements. One replacement.
Why do you have to do it multiple times if you already programmed it to do it?
Because if I had if I had 6 of them in a row, it's going to turn 6 into 3, and then they're going to be 3 in a row.
Right.
So
okay, so it's just compressing every time, like
exactly.
halving,
So
basically.
Exactly. So we now no longer have all that stuff. That saved me a lot of trouble, right? So this is cool because you can see it cleaned up our table of contents.
Right.
Now, what I want is the ability to establish these guys as chapters, right? And we couldn't have won this battle before changing the page size. Really, it wasn't going to be legit. So now what we want to do is actually take this format, which is heading number 1, and you can search for that, by the way. So watch this: find, advanced find, and I'm gonna get rid of this. Instead, search for a format, and I believe it's a style. Heading number 1 is what we want. Maybe it's this. Look, Walbaum. This is our guy. We'll search for that. Find next. Okay. Find next. Find next. All right. It's finding all of our titles. See, we're searching by format. We didn't even put any text in here. So just know that this is another thing that you can do, and it's a thing that I'm trying to do when I okay, we don't care. But what this does is it affirms to me that all of the, I am actually going to search from the beginning because I want to know that this is something different. It affirms to me that the titles are all the same, and only the titles have that, because we can go into heading, and let's see if I can install my sections in here. Shortcut numbering, border, tabs. No, okay, we're not going to do it that way. Let me just kind of show you what I'm after.
Mm.
At the end of the day, we want a brand new section to separate our stuff. We do not want to depend on this
Mm.
and we don't even want to depend on this. Control N. Oh, sorry. Control N is a new document. Sorry. There's a thing to make a new page, but we don't want that, because there's an organization that you can put here. References. Trying to remember how I did this. Layout, maybe. Breaks. Look at these.
Mm-hmm.
Section breaks. So if we want to guarantee that a chapter always starts on the left or the right, this is the way we would do it.
Mm.
It's usually weird to start a chapter on the odd page, right? And actually, I forget. So Keith, can you look at one of your books
Mm-hmm.
there? I don't have any around me, and tell me what the right page number is. Like just one of your books on the shelf. Is it an odd or an even?
It's an even for Ender's Game.
Okay.
On the right.
Okay. So on the left it's an odd, and then on the right it's an even. Okay. So we probably want an even page break, and actually an even section / page break. See, that says insert a section break and start the new one on the next even number page. That's totally what we want. Okay. So you won't necessarily see the results of this until you start introducing page numbers. But note that it is definitely, let's see, look at these little squares.
Oh, so it already did it?
Yeah. And in fact, see this little square page?
Yeah,
so I'm gonna double click it and expand the page, and it tells you that, yeah, we've actually started. So I'm going to try to do this an easier way. Alt, see the P is highlighted, B, E. Okay. Alt P, B, E, because it's about to get repetitive in here. And you don't have to remember that. You just hit Alt and follow the letters. Right?
They show up. I didn't know that the hotkeys show
Alt,
up if you.
P.
Man, this
B,
is like a
E.
Microsoft Word tutorial.
Yeah.
Advanced tutorial.
Alt P, B, E. Next section. Alt
So
P, B, E.
you have to do it individually for each one.
Yes. It looks like some formatting there. I need to look at. Alt PBE. Next. Alt PBE. Next. Alt PBE. Next. Alt PBE. Next. Alt PBE. What is this? A bibliography. This bibliography probably needs to follow one, it needs consistent typeface. And I was using, what is this? Looks like it's not Georgia. So this is just something that I'm noticing, right? We're going to want it to be consistent. This is why you need a lot of eyes on these things, because apparently, see this, it was Georgia up to here, and then it wasn't. And I don't know what format that is. So home, it's like a different version of, what is this? Why isn't it Georgia? I think so probably starting around this time, there was a font change and it took it off of normal. So you have to, that's upsetting, right? Because it just means that we're gonna have to triple click, right? 1, 2, 3. There we go. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Wow. Okay. We will do the same thing that we just did. You see this? I don't know what format this is. So, dang. What font is this? News Gothic MT. And we were replacing it with Georgia 10.5. Okay, fine. Let's go to Find, Advanced Find, clear all this stuff. No formatting. Okay, it's all clear. I'm going to look for the font, which was News Gothic MT.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to look for the, I could say size, but let's not. I'll just look for that. And I'm going to replace it with the font Georgia, the size of 10.5. I believe this is going to work. I think. Place all. Wait a minute. Save it first before I do replace alls. 104 replacements. Okay, it didn't work, and I don't know really what it's looking for. So, but it seemed to want to replace something, but unfortunately, this may be one of those things we're just gonna have to do it by hand. Yeah, dang, But anyways, that makes me so sad when you have to do things like that because it's gonna take forever. We're not gonna do it here. It's checkered. It's it's ugly right now, but oh well. What I was going to show you before that was here for bibliographies. I am interested in probably a hanging paragraph. So let's do special hanging. And because this is a small format book, I don't know that half an inch is good. So let's have it hang by a quarter of an inch. There we go.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Now that looks like a bibliography.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to do it this way. But,
no. Yeah. It's just
it helps the first line kind of stand out.
Stick out. Yeah.
So I'm control selecting, holding control so I can jump as I do this. Control is still being held, and hopefully not. Oh Lord, no! Wow, I screwed it up. That's what happened. Okay, you know what? The lazy way is going to be just the whole thing, because don't want to be jumping all that stuff. Special hanging 0.25. Good enough.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so what else do we want to do in here? I don't want to leave this recording before installing page numbers. So page numbers are always tricky, but here's something to note. You know how I was inserting sections here? When we start a new chapter, you see how they start at the top of the page. And I don't know if that's what you want. Right. I often don't want that because I don't know. It's just strange. So let's go in, right click header 1, modify, and go to font. Okay, it's not font, it's paragraph. Go to paragraph, and I'm going to up this a little bit. Let's make it 54. Well, okay, just a little bit of, hey, you're on a new page type stuff.
What did that do?
It pushed every title down. It pushed it farther down. Oh. So if you wanted to do it a little bit more dramatically so you could tell the difference, I go to paragraph and let's make it 100. There you go.
I see.
So now if I zoom out, control mouse wheel, then I can kind of see what these things are formatted. And let's do not reading view, but multiple pages. How about that? There we go. Okay, so this will give us an idea. Only thing about multiple pages is that what's right is left sometimes, and so these should have been on the other side. When we publish, we're going to need that first page that has the Library of Congress type information, or just general publication information before the preface. So I'm going to establish that section right now, and basically do a new section, and it's a break. This one is going to start on the odd page on the left side because that's where our copyright's going to be. And I don't know that I want this header. Well, that looks huge, doesn't it? Well, anyway, it's a new section, And man, I need to see my sections. So I'm going to turn on this paragraph marker, show hide. There we go. And oh, that's why I did it, because it's on. There's okay. So I got it. My copyright info. And then stuff. And you can just, this is where you're going to put your ISBN and publication date and all of that other stuff. But we won't worry about the details of that. You can just look at a random book that's already published and see what kinds of things, see what kinds of things they put there. We do note that it needs to be left aligned. And this particular section, and this is why we do sections here, this particular section needs to be bottom aligned. So I'm going to go to, I believe, the page. I clicked on paragraph right there, line and page breaks. I am totally forgetting how to do this. So let me, man, it's been, what, a year since I did this?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah. Orientation, no, size, columns. Man, where is it? References. Dang, I'm not gonna remember how to get off the top of my head the section to be centered, but it's like a critical part of the format. Oh, page setup right here. And click on this little page setup, and see this? It's got margins and layout and everything, but it also has, see, layout, vertical alignment, bottom on this one. And it's only for this section. Click OK. There we go. There's that copyright. Relatedly, the title page, I want this to be center aligned. So go to page setup, only for this section, center aligned. There. If you had branding and you wanted Price of Freedom Chronicles to be at the bottom or have some kind of special icon or logo, then you wouldn't do center align. You'd actually just do all the type spacing and stuff. But for right now, there you have it. Let's put some page numbers here. And just for fun, I'm going to double click the footer, the empty space, and I'm going to just do consistent page numbers all the way throughout. Now, this can get really annoying. I mean, like, I'm telling you, annoying.
So you can't do the auto page numbers?
You can, but you don't want to on every page.
Why is that?
So, because, for example, the first page doesn't normally have anything on it.
Right.
The table of contents may not either. We're going to have that. So the publication page sometimes doesn't. So what I'm going to do here is click on footer section 2. This is why we have sections. And I'm going to undo link to previous, because I don't want these guys to, in their footer, to care about this page, because I don't want anything on that page. Relatedly, the preface is probably where the action begins. And I don't want it to necessarily follow the same formatting as the copyright page. So I'm going to unlink that one from previous. Now we can do page numbers. So let's insert. Oh, there it was. It's redundant, so that's cool. Page number, current position, right where we are. Plain number, and center it. Control E. There we go. Now everybody has a page number. If you want to get fancier than this, like turning off page numbers on the beginning of a chapter, you certainly can. But this will get us started. Okay, so I'm gonna get out of this and turn this off. And I think this at least gives us a starting point. And like I said, these are formatting decisions that you're going to want to make early on. Oh, this is interesting. We got this box here. Okay. I don't like the border because it's crowding the cell margins there. So let's take off the border and add a background instead. Yeah. Okay. And we can do stuff like that throughout. Is there anything else that I wanted to cover in terms of formatting here? I don't know that there's a call out box, so maybe it doesn't format that way. This is pretty good. It's 141 pages and it's 10.5 font. I think it's pretty respectable.
Nice.
So we would go in here and finish the rest of this. Let me save it. I'm happy with this. Hey, let's install a table of contents. Where would it be? It would be before the preface. So I'm gonna turn back on my formats here because we want a new section. And I think I'm gonna put the table of contents on the right. So let's go layout, breaks, even page. Okay. And insert, nope, references, table of contents, right here.
Oh, nice. It automatically does it.
Yeah. So it's bottom. Yeah. And it's bottom aligned, just like the previous. I don't know if that's what we want. So let me come in and do layout, page setup, center align for this guy. There we go. And these things are going to automatically update. So you can say control click to follow the document. I'm going to do that. And control click. Okay, armed rebels. It takes me right to.
Nice.
So now we've got our contents. We're not liking this. This is a style that is inconsistent with the stuff that we had. So, and because it's a style, you would think that your ability you could just, well, because it's a style, you can't just change it. See that? Look at that. Caught it. There he is. So modify. He needs to be wall bound. Display. And we're going to make him consistent color. There. That's how you edit things that are anchored to styles. Because if you try to change it and you update this table, then it's not going to take. Suppose I'm editing the book and I just control enter. I'm just making new pages. Go here, update table. Sometimes you've done special formatting and you don't want to update the entire table. So we'll just update the numbers. They changed. That's why we want to do it this way, right? So anyway, I'm going to undo that though, because obviously we didn't really intend to mess up our formatting. This has most of the decisions for starting the book on the right track, I think. It's getting to the point where maybe we could proofread. I sure wish I knew how to correct this. I don't know what's wrong with it. That the advanced find didn't let me do it. Find next. No results found. News Gothic MT. I'm not understanding that. Maybe it just, I guess it just doesn't. Maybe there's something in here. Use wildcards. Find whole words only. Maybe. Next. Nothing. Dang. I feel like that should have. Well, I guess it's not going to go. We probably have to do it by hand.
Right.
All right. I think this is a stopping point for initial formatting. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Great job. Yeah, I learned a lot about just what to look out for, all this stuff. Like this was definitely an eye opener for me. Dennis, I hope it's an eye opener for you as well. And this video, anybody that you get helping you with formatting or dealing with manuscripts, this would be a good resource for you to pass them, because I know I learned a lot with this.
Yeah. So in the next one, we'll talk about what to do after this step.
Perfect. Okay. I'm gonna finish the recording then.
Mm-hmm.